Jen here. So at Formula Done, we try to keep up on some of the trends that kind of matter with current digital marketing. And one of the things that we have noticed is this trend of kind of watching other people's videos and making reactions to it. So that's what I'm going to play today. I'm going to totally play with this. So one of the people that I love to follow, who I find incredibly genius, is Neil Patel. And I have a kind of stack of some of the videos that he's come out with recently that that I have been wanting to watch. So I figured I'm just going to watch it right along with you, and we'll see what comes of this, right? So I don't know what to expect. This particular video is how to replace your paid ads with SEO, which is something that we absolutely talk about supporting here at Formula Done with our content marketing plan and the traffic trifecta and kind of how we organize things. So I want to see if what we're doing is in alignment with what Neil is recommending as well. So let me get the video pulled up here. Here we go.
How many links you have, if everyone lands on your site and you're ranking number one and they click the back button, it tells Google this site sucks and they should rank it lower.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We are backstage at AdCon 2023 where we've just had Neil Patel headlining the event, and we have decided to produce a little bit of content backstage, which is selfishly for me, and I think you're going to learn a lot from it. We have scaled our coaching business to $500,000 a month with paid advertising. Neil is the master at Google SEO. You've been doing this for now how long?
Ooh, almost 22 years-ish or so.
Okay, perfect. So I've got some questions because I need to extract 22 years worth of knowledge from Neil's brain so that we as a company can implement some Google SEO stuff so we can get more traffic, because where I see the game going is that paid ads are only getting more expensive. They're only getting more difficult. They're still in something of a golden, a few golden years, but it's not getting any cheaper, right? Paid traffic.
It's not getting any cheaper, but I think there'll be a way to make money from paid ads for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
Just like.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, on that, like, one of the things that we have seen is, for sure, like, there's always these shifts in ads, and it definitely, every time there's kind of a shift, it's sort of like everything, all of a sudden your ads get really expensive. And it's kind of a relearning of like, all right, how's the algorithm kind of shifted around, and what do we need to shift in order to bring the cost back down? But there are kind of some underlying things that always work. And I think that may be kind of what Neil is going to be referring to. So let's keep going here.
It was much easier 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It still works today. It's harder. It takes more time, but it still produces results, just like paid advertising.
Yep.
You learn more over the years. Just like with paid ads, you learn how to optimize your conversions or your funnels or upsell and downsell, and all these things help you get a better ROI over time.
And new platforms are going to keep emerging. We take the same skills over. So totally agree. But I also want to add in the organic side of things, which we're not focusing on at all. And I want to have that leverage as well. And Google traffic is so valuable, but it's a little bit harder to get and takes a little bit longer.
Yep. That is such a great point, is that Google traffic is free, unless you're running ads, obviously, right? But it's, it does take longer, but it also, like, it's something that just grows with you. It's kind of like a tree, like you start it, and as the more it goes, the more you're able to capitalize on that, and it just kind of keeps growing with you. It does not go away. It just built, which is amazing.
So we're going to dive straight in. So where we're at, Neil, is we have done pretty much nothing with Google SEO for 10 years. Fresh as a bean.
Pretty common.
And we need your help. So what would be your starting point for us? We are a marketing education company. We're really good at what we do. We focus on teaching YouTube ads and webinars and teaching coaches how to get high ticket clients. And what would you say is our starting point to get on Google?
So the starting point is it's really hard to rank a website without content. And you probably have a ton of content from these events. Video content's not bad, but let's focus on text-based content. Because typically, whenever you do a Google search, yes, videos can rank, but it's mainly text-based websites that you're landing onto. So the first thing you'd want to do is give away the farm. And what I mean by give away the farm is think about everything that you're charging for, educate people through text-based blog posts, and give that away on your website.
Okay, love this. Absolutely what we preach. In fact, we love to take like video is fantastic. I completely agree. Turn that video into a blog. Actually rewrite it so that it's blog friendly. But yeah, think about it. Like when you go Google search, what shows up is it's not somebody's sales page or marketing funnel or whatever step. It's actually content-based information. It's like, I want to read through this and learn. And a lot of times the blogs will have the video embedded so you can kind of get both, right?
No joke.
Okay, right. So we have a $10,000 coaching, and included in that is a training program with a bunch of modules, bunch of lessons. So how much of that, what percentage of that, or pretty much type all of that up and put it across lots of different articles, break it up?
Correct. So you type up the majority of it, whatever that is, 80%, 70%, 50%.
Okay.
Break it up into a lot of different articles and put it on the web. And it could be a variation of it, right? It doesn't have to be the exact thing, but you want to give away your most valuable content for free if you're looking to rank.
Okay, totally love that. And yes, here's the thing. We have so many people, I completely agree, give away your best stuff. We have so many people who are like, no, that's part of our signature process. No, that's our signature thing. Like we want to hide that behind the wall, which actually creates distrust. So the more that you give away, here's the thing. Most people, they're going to see your stuff. Most people are not going to read in depth. Most people are going to skim, but what they want to see is like, oh, I like kind of what you're talking about here. They will find you from one thing, right? And then they actually turn around and they will pay for the exact same material in a different format, right? That's why this works. That's why you can give this away, because nobody actually does the work, right?
Okay, got it. So how will I know which topics from within my training, my valuable content, are going to pull well or not?
Sure. So you have we have free tools like Uber Suggest.
Uber
You can
Suggest
end up
is
typing
fantastic.
any
Yes,
keywords like
love it.
coaching or consulting or anything like that. And you're going to get more specific. Those one-word phrases are too generic. But like when you're in coaching, what do you guys help with specifically with coaching?
It's a three-pronged approach. So it's people that have a high-ticket offer. They may need help restructuring that offer. That's actually the session I just got off finishing now. So I was teaching something called the offer triangle, where we have client results at the top, we have lifestyle next to that, and we have scalability next to that. So you've got to have an offer that can satisfy those three things. So it's offer creation. It's a webinar that's going to get people from, I call this the conversion timeline. They're at a 0, they have no idea who you are.
To
buying. At 10 to buying. We want to get them up to a 6 or a 7 before we get them on the phone. Webinar does that. YouTube traffic to flood the whole system.
And right now, if I had to sum it up, it's like you guys do high ticket coaching.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So you would go to Uber Suggest and you type in keywords like high ticket coaching. It'll tell you the popularity of that term. Plus it'll give you thousands and thousands and thousands of other suggestions. It would give you variations of high ticket coaching as well as other long-term variations of it. So now you have a list of a ton of keywords within your industry that people are searching for. Look for the ones with high search volume, because that means people are searching for them on a monthly basis. And look for the ones that have a high CPC. You do paid ads. CPC is cost per click. Typically the higher CPC, that means the better that keyword is because people are getting more conversions.
Right.
So what you want to do is then create content around those keywords, assuming it's relevant to the products and the services you're offering.
Okay, so completely agree with all of this. It's like I've been trained from Neil before, right? But this is very, very typical of a lot of, especially digital marketing agencies or digital coaches, those kinds of things, typically not doing any kind of SEO work. So this is like a whole new thing that they can jump into. And when they do, a lot of times they'll just take a video and turn it into a blog and not pay attention to the keyword part here. So that's one thing that we always like to wrap in is go use this tool like Uber Suggest or Keywords Everywhere or whatever, and do a little bit of research in terms of finding out what terms people are searching for. Because one of the things I love to do is make sure that the way that you talk about it may not be the way that your prospects are searching for it. So we want to align those two things. And by using a keyword tool, you can look at what people are searching for, and then you can wrap your content around that. So you may, even if it's not correct, if it's a highly searched term, you can say, here's what this means and why you're thinking this, and here's how it actually works in the real world and how it relates. So it's a way to still be able to capture that information. And as long as you're sharing your own unique experience, it's still going to show as authority on Google. So yeah, I love using those the keyword tools in there. All right, let's see what else they got.
Offering. And you'd want to put that up on the internet. That's the first step.
Okay. So a few questions now, so I'm wondering where to go next, because we're talking about finding high value keywords with a high CPC. Surely they're more competitive. So if I'm
not always
brand new site, no?
No, a lot of those aren't necessarily more competitive.
Okay.
In many cases they are, but in some cases they're not. And with Ubersuggest, you can put in your domain name, and it'll tell you out of the list of keywords, it'll filter the ones that you have the highest probability of ranking for right now based on what you've done so far.
Okay.
I will say also, like, I love Neil's tool with the Ubersuggest, that it does give you, it kind of dumbs down the keyword research, makes it a whole lot easier. And looking at the cost per click doesn't mean that you have to spend that cost per click. It just means that they are more valuable because more people are looking for them. So Google wants to charge you more if you want to actually advertise to that keyword. But it also means that more people are searching for it, so you can create organic content around that same term, right?
So would I be picking a combination of what I would deem high value keywords versus low hanging fruit keywords?
Yes.
Okay.
And the app will sort the low hanging keywords for you first.
Okay.
Once you put in your domain name. So then you would create text-based content and put those blog posts on your website.
Yeah.
You could use things like ChatGPT and Bard or the Ubersuggest AI writer, but you still want a human to modify the content. Your content needs to have E. What that stands for is experience, expertise, authority.
Oh, perfect. I was literally just talking about this. So yeah, this is definitely, like, as long as your own experience, big thing, your experience, your expertise and stuff around this topic, as long as you are creating original content, even if, like, the big thing, the way I love to do this is find the topics, find the low-hanging fruit, and let me go on my soapbox here a little bit. So find that low-hanging fruit of the content that you can immediately rank for, and however you are better at creating content, whether that's a voice memo, whether it's video, like whatever you want to do, go record that information and then use those AI tools. We like Claude, you can use Bard, ChatGPT, whatever, and plug your video or your voice memo or whatever into that, the transcript of it, plug it in, and then use that to recreate the stories that you share, to recreate your experience, your authority, and turn that into a written blog post. But then always, 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 always go re-review that and make sure that it's actually written in your own voice. And it's not, the AI tools can sometimes, like, make stuff up, right? Or just go glean from other people's content. You want it to come from yours. As long as you start from a script or a video or something first, it makes it a whole lot easier for the AI tool to be able to write in your voice and create that original content. All right, let's keep going.
Breaks that down. They want your content to be unique and it to stand out. They don't want it to be regurgitated information that can already be found on the web.
Okay.
So if you can end up creating really, really unique content that stands out and is super helpful, it's more likely to rank.
Okay.
And you just publish it on your blog, on your website. And then what you'll need to do is, you need to get some social shares to your articles, so share it on your social profiles.
Okay.
Yep.
And you can also reach out to other people who share similar content on Twitter and other social networks and ask them to share content, and maybe you reciprocate and share their content.
Okay.
And then B, you need to get links. Links are one website linking to your website.
Yeah.
Without other people linking to your website, you're not going to rank as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So in Ubersuggest, there's a report called the Backlink Opportunity Report. So you put in a few of your competitors. If you don't know your competitors, just Google the terms you're trying to rank for. You'll see who's at the top. And you'll put in your domain name and a few of your competitors.
Yep.
And in this backlink opportunity report, you first start off with your own domain name. And then when you put in your competitors, because it'll tell you it'll give you boxes for your competitors. It'll show you everyone who's linking to your competitors, but not you. See, if someone links to one of your competitors, they may be biased and they may like them and they may not link to you.
Yep.
If someone links to 2, 3 of your competitors, the chances are they like your industry, they don't care about a specific competitor, and they're open to linking anyone in your space. You'd hit up those sites and talk to them about how you have better content, more thorough, and they're already linking to a few, how you can get them to link to you and why it provides more value. And over time, you'll build some links.
Okay. A lot from it.
Oh, I just rewound this video accidentally. Let me go back through here. Where are we at here? Okay. Sorry. Jumping through. Here we go. Okay, so what's really awesome about this is one of the things that we like to do. So that tactic that Neil just talked about is backlink strategies are very, very important. They're also kind of like much more technical and deep SEO sort of stuff. So even if all you do is start at a place where you're turning your content into blog posts, and you're sharing those links, you're sharing it on social, you're getting some of that organic traffic coming in, building the backlinks is things that you can go back and do afterwards as well. So there are things that like you can continue to add backlinks. You don't have to have it right when you first publish that content. So it's a way, like, don't use it as an excuse to not make this happen, right? Okay, keep going.
Get to how you can get them to link to you and why it provides more value. And over time, you'll build some links.
Okay.
And what you'll find in this process is you'll start ranking higher.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, there's some on-page SEO issues that most sites have. In the Ubersuccess report, there's also a site audit report. You put in your URL, tells you all the basic stuff you need to fix, so that way you can rank higher from a code perspective. At this point, you just do this. You create at least 3 articles a week. You do this for a year. You'll start seeing some really good traffic. What you'll notice, though, is as you get more traffic, you may not get more conversions. So just like how you take someone from 0 to 10, you got to warm them up. Someone may read your blog and they may be at a 2.
Yep.
And now they're at their 2, you may, within that blog post, want to collect their email address. Okay, from an exit intent, or you could do, hey, join this webinar, and you're starting to warm people up so you can get them from a 2 to maybe a 6. And then they're more likely to be ready to get on the phone and talk to someone.
Okay, so here's what I love about this also is, because very, very true. It's just like when you're social posting, you're not trying to sell your end product. All you're trying to do is sell like the next step. You're selling the click, right? And getting a whole lot more free traffic does not necessarily mean more conversions. But here's what does happen is all of those lurkers that are watching your social media channel, that are going to your blog and reading, they are not necessarily buying, engaging, commenting, doing any of those things until they're ready. But what happens is they kind of lurk around in your free content and they sort of keep checking in and watching some of your stuff. And then when they're ready, you are their go-to person. So it's a difficult thing to directly attribute an ROI straight to. That has always been the problem with SEO, because you can literally have people who are lurking around for years and years and years, right? Without actually engaging. But then once they're ready, you're the person that they're going to. So this makes total sense. And you're just taking them step by step by step. Yes, with a little opt-in. Yes, with a possible webinar. And then he's probably also going to talk about this. Instead of replacing your paid ads, you can also use retargeting back to the people who have engaged with your social, who have engaged with your website, and specifically set up ads to just those people, which makes it cheaper for your ads overall and becomes part of that, like what we call the traffic trifecta, right? So you have your free traffic, you have your social traffic, you have your paid traffic, and all of those things kind of work together. And that brings in a whole lot more people. When you have more free traffic, you're going to end up with more conversions anyway, as long as you kind of have that like step-by-step nurture process that takes people along as they're ready on their own terms. All right, let's keep going here. Here we go.
Okay, so let's just come back to backlinks then, because that's one of the things on my list to ask you about. Because back 10 years ago, I used to do a little bit of Google SEO, and it was really easy 10 years ago. We would just go to Fiverr and just buy a bunch of backlinks, and it actually worked. I'm aware that that's far from the truth now.
Yeah.
What you've just described is very helpful, but sounds very manual. Is there any way to automate this, leverage my time better than reaching out manually to all these different competitor sites?
No, there isn't. You have to just create amazing content.
Do the work.
Reach out
It's
to
hard
them,
work.
get links.
Gotta do it.
Okay.
There are some other ways you can generate links, like you can create infographics.
Yep.
People are more likely to link to infographics from what we see. You can use Canva to create them. Infographic is just a visual that breaks down a story you're trying to tell. You can also create free tools. They're easier to generate links to. And
sorry to interrupt, just before we move on, infographic, that's something I would just embed into the blog post.
Yes.
Okay, with any kind of SEO benefits in the way that I'm...
Just embed to the blog post.
just literally-
People like it, they'll link to it.
Okay.
And then free tools. You can do it. You know, I don't know the coaching space too well, but like if I'm in fitness, BMI mass calculator, body mass index calculator, ChatGPT was able to create the game Pong in less than 60 seconds, so you can have it create almost any tool for you. You can also use sites like Code Canyon to buy tools that you can white label and put on your site for like under $100, maybe $50.
Okay.
And these tools over time will help build links as well.
Okay, that's good to
That is such a great tip. I love that. Because we're always giving people like, all right, it's not like, don't worry about giving away your best stuff, right? We want to give things that are going to be valuable, but people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you need to have this, right? Like, I need to share this with you. We need to create that sort of FOMO or like real need, real desire for content. So I love this about tools, the free tools and stuff like that. I've used Code Canyon in the past for other things. That is a great tip to go use that to create a tool that you can use as sort of, link bait, right? That's what we want to do, is get people involved.
You just got to find tools within your space, but on sites like Code Canyon, there's tools in almost every space.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, and I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, is now the game is we want high value backlinks, but perhaps less of them than just trying to get thousands and thousands of backlinks just for the sake of having a backlink. Am I understanding that right?
Ideally high value and quantity.
Yes.
Okay.
But high value quantity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you can't get that, high value is fine. Relevant sites linking to you. You don't want Neil Patel linking to you when you're in coaching.
Yeah.
You may want another coaching site linking to you. Or you may want a CNBC or Bloomberg website linking to you that's breaking down how people are making a lot of money through coaching, and it's an up and coming industry.
Right.
I'm making it up. Maybe they would write about that, maybe they wouldn't. But that's the kind of stuff that you want. And you'll get that over time. You just got to do it often enough, create enough content, add enough value, and people link to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like a conference.
That is a great point also, is that like, just because there are people that you follow, we definitely want them to be relevant to the topic and to your industry. The more relevant and the more authority that the people who are linking back have, obviously that's the high value, right? So that's the high value links, and then more quantity. Obviously, that's what we want. So yeah, we want both, and it takes time and effort, but it's great feedback. Yeah.
If you get content, are people going to come back next year?
Nope.
No, and excuse my language, but it's the same with the internet. If you create good content, people will come back, they'll be loyal, they'll give you their email address, they're more likely to convert, they'll link to you, they'll share your content, all that stuff.
Okay. So we used to, again, back 10 years ago, we used to prioritize things like getting a backlink from a government website or an education website and things like that.
Still helps.
Okay, still
But
relevant?
it doesn't matter too much. You just want to create good content.
Okay, all right. So how many backlinks would I be expecting to generate over what period of time? And then when would it really start to kick in?
Don't worry about the number. It'll
Okay.
be slow and steady. You may trickle in and get a few a week. But after doing it for a year, your few a week may turn into 5 or 10 a week.
Okay.
And it just adds up over time.
Okay.
You don't need quantity to rank. You just need quality content that's amazing, the best user experience. Put the user first, do what's best for them, and then in the long run, you should start ranking higher and higher, assuming you're doing the other factors like we mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I did want to, I'm hearing this has got to be a manual process. We need to be reaching out,
Yes.
building a bit of a relationship with those other sites. Can I still leverage my time by just hiring a VA to do that? Would you trust someone to be?
Not a BA, someone who has a little bit more experience, who specializes in it, they're going to have much more success than a BA.
Okay. Just because of their knowledge of
Yeah,
those
maybe they've sent
competitors
out enough emails for link building so they know, what has a better success rate. They know what kind of content converts.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a really great point also in that there's a couple of things. One, this does it builds up, right? Just like the tree analogy is that you're starting now, and if you do it for a year, yeah, you continue doing that. It just builds and builds and builds, and you're going to start gathering and collecting more backlinks and things like that. For example, like Neil Patel, I've been following him for years and years, right? And we start posting more and more of his stuff because he's the king of SEO, and he has Uber Suggest, which is an amazing tool. But that stuff just kind of builds up and just keeps going, right?
Okay.
VA has to learn it all from scratch.
Okay.
Oh,
So
VAs.
we'll move to
Right.
the content itself in a minute.
So this is a really good point. Okay, so VAs are super valuable, but and I mean, like I have several VAs hired in my agency as well, right? But having somebody who understands kind of how SEO works, as well as somebody who is used to and able to and willing to and knows how to craft a message in reaching out to the people that doesn't look like it was just written by an AI bot, that doesn't look like it's just a bunch of spam or some gray hat blacklisting kind of thing, right? But we actually, when you're doing this manual work to reach out and create those backlinks, that's a thing that like we definitely want it to be a personalized kind of for the most part, we want it to feel personal, to feel trustworthy. Those are going to create you a whole lot better backlinks because you're going to be able to get in the door of some of the people who are kind of higher authority ranking. All right, let's keep going.
And things like that. But before we move on from linking, outside of the backlinks, are there any other factors that we want to incorporate in our article that helps rank in terms of, we talked about finding some keywords, some high value ones, competitive ones.
Naturally, you'll have the keywords in the article without forcing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't need to emphasize on how many times or anything like that, just whatever's natural. But you got the main factors: on page, which we talked about, the site auto report will help.
Yeah.
Yep.
Backlinks and content. Those are the main 3 areas.
It's just so interesting because back when we used to do it, it seems so artificial to me now, but the way we used to do it is bolding certain words and underlining certain things and putting a certain thing in the header text and things like this. So truly, that's all not very relevant anymore.
Nowhere near the other main 3 factors. Because look, at the end of the day, when you're reading an article, do you really care if a word is bolded? You care if it provides the best experience. If it doesn't, you're going to click the back button and go on to the next article. It doesn't matter how many links you have. If everyone lands on your site and you're ranking number 1 and they click the back button, it tells Google this site sucks and they should rank it lower.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, such a great point because that's the same thing that we talk about even with social, right? When you're sharing your new blog out on social, if people aren't clicking the link or they're hitting the site and then they're immediately bouncing off, like those are training Google to say your content sucks. That's training the social media sites to say they aren't really sharing, like you're not really sharing good relevant information. So I have said it before. I love that Neil just backed this up. For the history of the entire internet, it doesn't matter if you're trying to do Google algorithm SEO, if you're trying to rank higher, like get your content shared more on social, whatever the thing is, it's always been good quality content. People are looking for good quality content. That's the whole point of like why they're searching online, right? So tell stories, be an authority, and publish good content. It's going to help. And I think even with the advent of AI and all the search help and things that are happening, is like it's no longer really important to do some of those other tactics like we used to have to in the past, with bolding things and underlining and making sure that you use a keyword a certain number of times. Just know this is the topic I'm talking about. Here's how people are searching for it. So I'm going to incorporate that keyword and just share really good content. That's really all it comes down to. All right. That was kind of fun. I'm going to have to do this again. Well, there was Neil Patel and some of my takes and kind of how that all works together. So let me know if you think that this was helpful or valuable, and we will share the link to this video here as well in the comments. See you later.